11 more hostages have been released in Gaza. Israel-Hamas ceasefire extended by 2 days. Updates show title Hide West Bank celebrates release 39 Palestinian prisoners. People took to the streets to celebrate release of 39 Palestinian prisoners as part of ceasefire agreement with Israel. According to the Israeli army, 11 more hostages were released and arrived in Israel late Monday. The ceasefire, which gave them and dozens of other prisoners freedom, extended for 2 days and brought relative calmness to the war-torn Gaza Strip. The Israeli Defense Forces said about the newly released hostages. After going through the initial medical evaluation, our forces will accompany them until they are reunited with their families. As part of deal, Israel released 33 Palestinian prisoners who were taken to Ramallah, the West Bank, in early hours of Tuesday, where they were greeted by cheering crowds. The ceasefire was scheduled to end on Monday, but Israeli-Palestinian leaders voiced their support for extending the ceasefire and releasing more hostages. Israeli prisoners at the hands of militants. Israel had previously offered to extend the ceasefire 1 day for every 10 hostages released. Hamas said on social media that they agreed to extend the temporary humanitarian ceasefire with Qatar and Egypt for 2 more days. Since Friday, around 50 women and children, including 70 Israelis, have been released, as well as 150 women and young Palestinians in Israeli prisons. President Joe Biden said in a statement, "The humanitarian pause has also enabled a significant increase in additional humanitarian assistance to innocent civilians suffering on the Gaza Strip," adding, "We will not stop until all the hostages held by Hamas are over. The terrorists have been released." National Security Council spokesman John Kirby said administration believes 8 or 9 Americans are still being held captive, but the United States has no definitive information on all of them. He said he was hopeful that some would be released during the extended ceasefire. Another 77 Israeli soldiers lost their lives in a military operation in Gaza. Biden sends $100 million to Gaza. Will any of them fall into the hands of Hamas? Developments. Endproof IDF said on Monday that 200 trucks carrying 8 fuels to Gaza have brought humanitarian aid. The rest carried food, water, medical supplies and shelter equipment to be distributed to charities. According Endproof Associated Press, Secretary of State Antony Blinken will make his 3rd trip to Middle East since start of war and will travel Israel and West Bank later this week. Endproof European Union members and representatives of countries of the Middle East and North Africa met in Barcelona on Monday to discuss diplomatic efforts to stop Israeli-Hamas war. Endproof UN experts on arbitrary executions, torture, other cruel, inhumane or degrading treatment called for an extensive and impartial investigation of crimes alleged to have been committed by Hamas Israel in the